this is Tammy with Tammy Creations, and today we're going to be making a pendant using this design. And I'm going to be using this peach moonstone, which is about the same size. My moonstone is 1 inch tall and a 1/2 inch wide. I'm using square, dead soft, 20 gauge copper wire, and mine is from riogrande.com. You can get quite a bit on a spool, and it's not that expensive. Maybe $30, but it will make probably 100 pendants. Also, I'm using this half round dead soft 22 gauge copper wire, dead soft. This is from Rio Grande as well. And I probably have 4 inches here of that. And then I'm also going to be using 28 gauge round copper wire. This is just for weaving. And I think I got this off of Amazon, Copper Wire USA. So they have good, cheap wire there as well. You'll also need flush cutters, chain nose. I have tweezer nose pliers, round nose pliers, and nylon jaw pliers. These are optional. So to begin, we are going to start with our 4 lengths of square 20 gauge dead soft copper wire, 8 inches each, and we're going to put them all together and then wrap them with the flat side of your half round wire, touching those wires. So what you will see is the rounded side, and we're just going to wrap in the center a few times to connect all of these wires, right? And then once you have enough wrapped to keep them connected, I like to use my nylon pliers to just press them down and squish them together. And then on one side, you want to cut these in the center so that they will lay flat. And this is where the stone will lay, right on top of the side where your ends are. Okay, so from here, we're going to start creating our bend, and this is where our wire is going to, or a stone is going to sit, and we're just going to bring it up along the sides. And I think for this one, I'm pretty sure I did a twist here on the top wire. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take the top wire on each side, and using my chain nose or tweezer nose, I'm just going to twist the whole piece around a few times to get this twisted wire look. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. Just grabbing that top wire, holding on to the end of it, and then twisting the whole thing around. And I like to kind of not twist so many times. I think sometimes it's nice, but sometimes I think it's prettier just to have a few twists. I actually think I did this one more, so I'm going to go ahead and make this one match it better. Okay, so the other thing I like to do before getting my stone placed in there real secure is to turn it to the back and take my back wire on either side and bend it inward at the bottom like this. So getting in between the back wire and the second to the back wire, and then making that bend there so that our stone has a good place to sit, like this. So when you set your stone in there and turn it to the back, it's going to look like that. Okay. So now I'm just bringing up these wires on either side, making sure they are in line, not crossing over each other. And then I'm going to bring one of the wires across. I'm going to bring this, I'm going to try and make these a little bit bent here at the top, kind of close to the stone, so there's not a whole lot of space there at the top of the stone and where they meet. And I'm going to bring this wire, one of my two front wires, and cross it over and bring it around these wires on the side, keeping them nice and flat, around the back, and around the other side, making sure all of these are still in line. And then I'm going to bring it back around once more. So it's like this. All right. Now I'm going to separate out these wires. So the ones coming up from this side are going to be over on this side and these over here. And then I'm going to pull over the back wires, and I'm going to pull over 3 of them so that we end up with 2 on each side. So we've got these 2, and then this one is the one we were wrapping around with, and then the 3 in the back, which will become our bail. And I like to, just use my nylon pliers to get those nice and straight. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim these so they're all the same length. Okay, those back ones. From here, I'm just going to push them a little bit forward, and then I'm going to bend them back, and I just use my finger for that to make the bail. And then I like to press the back up closer to the front, and I'm going to take this wire that we were wrapping around, I'm going to bring it back out a little bit. And so instead of it going under these, I'm going to have it go over these back 3 wires. And I'm going to bring it around the front, and I'm going to cut it. Just pull this. I'm going to cut it so that it can tuck right inside there. So I'm going to trim and grab hold of it and tuck it inside the bail like that. All right, so now you've got your bail. We've got these 2 and these 2. All right, now the next step is going to be to bring these 2 wires here. We're going to do this little weave on them, okay? So we're going to do with our 28 gauge wire, and I have probably 20 inches cut off, and I'm going to take this in between these 2 wires and press it down. And then I'm going to wrap around this wire that is not twisted 3 times. And then I'm going to wrap around both of these twice and push them down. All right, so 3 times around this bottom one that is not twisted. 1, 2, 3. And then twice around both and push them together. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this until my weave is long enough that I can then bend it around like this to about just past the top of the stone. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue my weave, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I have done this weave several times, and I'm going to turn it so I can see it from the front. And when I bring it across, I like to make sure that my the wire that only has the 2, you know, where there's spaces in between, is on top. And that happens to be the twisted one. So I'm going to push it down against the stone and then twist downward just a little bit. And I'm going to separate these out. So this one's going to go around to the back like this. And I'm going to make a little curl with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it just a bit because I want it to kind of be a little bit of a curly Q. So it's probably still a little bit too long. Let's see. All right, and with my round nose pliers, I'm going to curl it inward. Like this. There. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull these 3 that are coming out from my bail. I'm going to lift them up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and trim off the tail from my weaving wire. And I'm going to trim it here. I finished off with 3 there at the bottom. So my weaving wire, I'm finished using that. And I'm going to bring around one of these wires, and I'm going to go ahead and use, let's see, I'm going to use this top one, and I'm going to twist it. So I'm going to grab hold of it and twist this one, but I'm not going to twist quite as much. And then I'm going to bring it around so that it follows the line to match the curve of this woven one, and bring it around to the back. Now, just to get these out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and trim these little wires from the bottom of the bail. And using the round nose pliers, I'm going to separate them out. And curl them. I'm just going to curl them up like this. So I'll have 2 going one way, 1 going the other way, and then I'm just going to kind of push them up so that they're hidden. So kind of push it sideways there. Okay, straighten out my bail. And then push this one up. I'm going to trim that one a little bit more because it has a piece sticking out. There. Okay, now what we need to do is pull up this back, one of these back wires, and we're going to wrap these around it. So I'm going to trim them off a little bit, and I'm going to bring this under that wire. And then around, tuck that in. And then I'll do the same with this one, cut it a little bit more. I'm going to bring it under and around. If I can get a hold of it. And tuck it in there. Okay, push that down. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I have to fix this because when I wrapped it around, it pulled it out of shape. So you have to be careful of that. I'm going to bring this last one and we're going to make this little curly Q over the top of our bail. So we're going to bring it up and around like this. And then I'm going to continue that just with my hand. And then I'm going to trim it off, leaving enough that I can continue wrapping that with my pliers into a little bit smaller circle in the center, like that, and then just press it down against the bail. Right? So there you have it. And this one, you know, I made it a little bit looser, so this one's a little bit tighter. All of that is really up to you. You're using your own discretion. And then I like to separate out the little bail parts at the top like this. And that's where your chain will go through. Then all that's left to do is oxidize it and put your chain on it. So I will be oxidizing both of these before I sell them. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe and like if you enjoyed this one, and share with your friends. Thanks. Bye.